So someone is suffering from a problem, you see, and the whole city, the whole country, the whole, not city or country, like this, right? Does it work?
Oh yes.
Yeah. So the whole town will try to help him. They will gather the money, they will send them there, or even sometimes he doesn't have to suffer a problem. It will be just an investment. As you will go there, you do your thing, and you send us back the money. And they decide this together, and they send him on a boat, which is the hard way, or there is the easy way, which is they find someone who is already living in Germany or France who has the Tunisian nationality, or they just know him, and they marry them. They marry them either for real or just for the reason of going to Germany. They go to Germany where they either continue together or not. That's not the problem. But the whole thing was organized to benefit from the system. And if you want a good immigration system, you must have one that doesn't allow that. That doesn't allow people with ill intent to just come and benefit from the system. Do you at least agree with this point?
Yes, I think that it should not go that way. It should not happen that way.
Yeah.
Wait, your screen just
Go ahead.
disappeared again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
So
can just rub there.
sure. No, no,
But
I
please,
agree. I agree with the. I mean, this whole idea of them having to get married and take the family and all of this, like and also then the idea of social security. This is a whole different topic. Like this whole idea of social security has to be rethought, and it's not just a problem of immigration. Like this idea of social security being taken advantage of. Yeah, it is a problem in immigration, but it is a general problem. It's not like it has been invented by immigration. And so even if you stop immigration 100%, it's not going to save your social security system, because you also in Germany here people you have like basically if you turn on television, the television will tell you the whole day that people are taking advantage of social security, right? You have these soaps during the day that show you people that take advantage of the social security system and basically just hang around at home and don't want to work. I don't believe that. I generally don't believe in this idea of taking advantage of social security system. I believe that people, if they have a perspective to have a good, fulfilling job, will prefer that. And if the advantages outweigh, I mean, let's look at it like this. So you're an immigrant in Tunisia, right? You're an immigrant from Tunisia. You come into the country to benefit from their social security system, right? To just hang around at home to get money. But the thing is, like the money that you get is barely enough to survive. It's like really really low money, right? So actually, I mean that's the way it is, and that's the way it should be, I guess.
it is low for you. It is low for you to survive in Germany. Let's say it is 1,000 euros or even less.
It's not
Even
it's
if you can, okay,
I mean, it
even if
should
I'm
be. Let me just give you. We don't care about the real numbers. Let me just give you a rundown of how it should be, and that's going to show you that it has nothing to do with immigration. Okay, so the way it should be is that if you are unemployed, you get a wage and your rent paid. Okay, and the wage that you get, the this amount is so little that you can't afford to do shit. You can't go out. You can't go to cinema. You can't go have dinner in a restaurant. You can't even generally you shouldn't even be able to order in, right? So mostly you will eat shit food or you will have to cook at home all the time. So you will not be able to participate in any social life that costs money. Okay, so that's the status. That's the way it is currently in Germany, and I think that's the way it is in France as well.
yes,
So
that's not the goal.
wait,
It is not to live
your
for
voice
yourself,
is
but it's to live.
your voice is really really low again. You have to take the microphone.
Yeah, look, it is not
Wait. I'm
only
not
about the
done
money
yet.
that you're
I'm
gonna make.
not done yet. I'm not done yet. So that's the way it is, right? So and I don't believe I in my don't believe in this idea that people would not rather go to work 20 30 hours a week for a significantly better way of life and for not.
That's you. That's
No, I
you.
think everyone. I think that goes for everyone. That's just the way I see it. I haven't met anyone
Yeah,
that didn't feel that way.
that's not. I have met a lot of people. So you see,
Sure,
that's not a
sure,
good
but
argument. You don't
I'm
feel
pretty
that way.
sure. Like I know people that benefit from the system, but all of them work on the side illegally.
Okay, that's still a bad thing. And
It is
also,
a bad thing. I don't disagree.
if you save up, even if you save up 100 euros or 200 euros and you send them back to your home, that is equivalent of a salary. So you can,
Sure,
by living on minimally, you can, by living minimally on Germany and you save up 50, 100 euros and you send them back to your country illegally too. You just give them to someone in Germany and then he gives them back to your country. Like you don't even benefit like the tax system
sure,
or whatever,
but
it's just done illegally. and and you pass down the money in your home country, and now the math, like now he is in a better situation because he gets to live for free even though the conditions are horrible, but the conditions were horrible in his origin, on his country of origin anyway, and they just gathered the money for him to go there, and now he sends back 100 200 euros that changes the life of his family because that's a big money, and then he sits there and he lives normally, and you just added that he can work illegally too to gain more money and live normally for himself too.
yeah, but that would be
So
a problem of, yeah, but that's not a problem of immigration. That's a problem of the government not being good enough in their prosecution of illegal work. So that's not a problem of immigration.
yes.
That has nothing
No,
to do with
no,
immigration.
I can tell you why it is. I can tell you why it is. Because immigrants can benefit from it. That's the thing. Because if it was a problem in your country that had some part of your population benefit from this, and you had this problem that you're trying to fix, then well, that's one thing. But if immigrants can benefit from it, then it becomes an immigration problem because it is a clear incentive for immigrants to come. It
No,
is.
you're
And
missing the
maybe you
point.
are
No,
lucky enough.
you're missing the point. So we are looking for. So you are making the point of social security. What about social security? What about people coming and taking advantage of our system? Right? That's the point you're making. So, and
Yeah.
I am saying that this issue, you would have to make the case. For example, let's say it is the case that people get a lot of money for just sitting around, right? If that's the case, if they get a lot of money for sitting around, if they live a really luxurious life and just hang around, then so many people would come in, and at some point we don't profit from it, and the people don't work, right? That will be the case. So, but because that's not the case,
But then I can see now where the problem lays because you are assuming that most people, at least, will think like you, and if they can get 100,000 not working and 2,000 working, they will work. But myself included, and the people I know, we wouldn't do that. We
no,
don't value the same things in
what you
life.
don't understand is that the reason why people prefer to stay in social security rather than to work is not because they're immigrants. German people do the same thing. It is because
Yes,
working does not significantly improve their lives in order for that,
yes.
or they work illegally at the site. And both of these things are issues that have nothing to do with immigration. These problems have to be
But
fixed. No, but these,
immigrants
but
benefit from
also,
it, right?
yeah, but once you have fixed those, both immigrants and Germans will not be able to play the game
Okay,
basically. So you would have
okay,
to fix it anyways,
okay. But
and you
as
can't use it as an argument against immigration because it's a problem that you have to fix
as it
anyways.
stands, I can. As it stands, if you fix it and it's not a problem anymore, and Germans can benefit from it, and immigrants can benefit from it, therefore it's not an incentive for immigrants to come, then I agree with you. It should not be used as an argument against immigration. But as things stand, it exists, and people are benefits from it. If few thousand Germans are benefiting from it, and then you add to them
But that's not
other
an.
hundreds of thousands of immigrants who
But can you
benefit from it,
see how
you
that's not
see,
an argument against immigration? If I tell you there is no inherent problem with
if it
immigration,
is,
the problem is
if
that
it
you are
is an
not doing your
incentive,
job as a you are not doing your job as a state. The job as a state is to provide jobs that are good enough that it's not just the
yes,
bare
it,
minimum
that needs
to
to be done.
survive. That is your job as a government, and it's
That
also
needs
your
to be
job.
done.
Wait, it's also your job as a government to collect the taxes for working people. It's not okay. Like it's not okay that some people work illegally, right? So you have to do your job
Yes.
as a government. And if you don't are not able to do that job, then you have failed as a government.
Okay, the way you put it, there is no relationship to immigration because this is a problem in Germany that needs to be fixed in Germany. What I'm telling
Sure.
you, how it becomes a problem of immigration, because it is an incentive for immigrants to come solely for that purpose. And I know at least 10 who came like that. That's me personally, and I know 10. Statistically, there are a lot of people who are contesting that there are thousands and hundreds of thousands of people who are coming solely
But
for
that
this
is but
benefit.
that is
You
normal.
can,
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. But do you see how we already before we said we need these people to come and to work, right? So we have managed to get them to come, and we could make them also work if we would give them a work that is significantly better than social security. But we're failing at the second step. So I'm telling you, instead of being against immigration, be in favor of making that second step of getting them a good job, and then you're basically done. You basically have solved everybody's problem. That guy is not
you're,
suffering
you're, you're
hunger.
not,
What?
you're not gonna like my next argument because I can see where this comes
Wait,
from. But the
can you
second
please
step,
engage with what I'm saying? You have to engage with that, please.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm engaging on that point exactly
Okay.
on the second step
Mm-hmm.
because the second step, which is to force them to work by offering them better jobs, is just indicative that German people are probably, I don't know many German people, but maybe the average German person will jump on that opportunity. But if you know the average Tunisian person, if there is a chance to gain even 30% without working, they would rather just play cards and sip a coffee. That is, I don't know if it's cultural. I don't know if it's, I don't know what causes it, but I can tell you that not a lot of people are like you. And if, for example, I could get half of the money that I'm getting while working without working, I will take that chance because I love to sleep and play video games. You see, I don't get to play video games the way I live now, but if I could get half the money, you see, I don't spend a lot. I don't like spending money on useless things. So I would usually be my food and like some video games maybe. And can see a lot of men, especially the men who do not get to participate in the dating market, they will take that deal. You see, I can have my doll, I can have my video games, I can have my food. Why would I even work?
To be
Because
honest, I don't know.
I'm not.
I don't see the evidence. I don't really don't see the evidence for that. I feel like
That,
most people.
that's
No,
my
the
point.
most people, the most that I can see, like the most. I will be really honest with you. I see a lot of people taking advantage of the German social security system, but 99% of them take advantage of the sexual. And these are all like the people that I talk about are mostly people that are from immigrant families, and these people mostly do it by working illegally on the side. So they work for like 4, 5, 6 euros on the side, and take also like the very low amount of social security that they get, and it adds up to a just a normal wage basically. It adds up to something like 1,200, 1,300, 1,400 euros. So that's how they basically trick the system. So it's basically a subvention that the German state gives to these jobs, like just like low paying jobs get subventionized, get subventions by the state. It's basically the same thing. So that's what I see, and that's what's I think very very common. The people that are just sitting around and not doing anything, there is also them, but most of them really don't have that these opportunities, as far as I know. And I just don't believe that. I mean, it's at the end of the day, we're not going to agree on this. You think that the Tunisian culture is lazy. I don't believe that it is a fulfilling life.
I,
I don't believe that it's a fulfilling life to I mean I don't I can't also believe that it's Tunisian culture to be like that, because at the end of the day it's also a traditional culture where the man has to be a provider, and I don't know, it just doesn't make really much sense to me.
but then I don't know if in this like stream you can like if it was possible like to run statistics or not, because I think you really inflate. I know we're not gonna agree, and it's
Yeah.
not an insult to Tunisian culture or the North African culture or whatever it is. I'm just saying that a lot of men. I don't know about. I won't speak like for women, and I'm thinking about men who are if you have a family and you have children to provide for, then you are 100% incentivized to have like three jobs that are legal. I'm not talking about that case. I'm saying for a man who is kicked out of the sexual market because of my other tendency. I believe that a lot of men are kicked out of it. So if all these lonely men they are offered a low pay that does not allow them to have a luxurious life but allows them to survive, I think a lot of men will take it. And the statistics on lonely men are there to prove it, that there are more and more and more lonely in men. And the lonelier the men are, the more they are willing to take such a deal. So it is a good thing that you are optimistic about life and you want to get married in the next 5 years. So it makes sense for you to want to make as much money as possible. So even if it means that you have to work a lot. And I think that's a privilege in itself, because if you were from Africa and you worked, let's say, the same energy, the same amount of hours that a German person will do, but it's not even enough for you to survive. So you borrow money to go to Germany, and you find that we will make even more money than what you were making by not working. You will think of it as a good deal. You might start working on the side, but if you want to give that up and start a legitimate job when you have to learn German and you have to interact with people that are not all the time nice to you, that's a significant a consideration that you do not have to make as a German person.
Sure.
But I
I
don't
mean
know.
it's
You
not
made a
even
point.
about laziness. I think like just the sheer fact that you get so many goods, like everybody enjoys going to dinner, everybody enjoys going to cinema, everybody has stuff that they enjoy, going to a concert, doing stuff, like everybody enjoys that. If you don't do that, then you're probably depressed or something like that. Like it could be that many people are depressed, and I'm not saying that they don't exist, like they actually exist. I know people that are really like in a vegetative state, smoking weed the whole day and doing nothing else and just playing video games and smoking weed basically, and that's enough for their lives. But these people are mostly either on drugs or depressed, and that's a whole different topic. But when we look at the average person, like the just a normal regular person, they want to have a average good life, like which means that they can go to dinner, that they can meet with their friends outside, that they can have a drink here and there, and that they can just participate in these just normal social activities. And even if they're the most lazy person in the world, they want that. It's like it's just basic necessities. They have that in Tunisia. You
Okay,
can't tell me that they don't have bars in Tunisia, my bro. You can't tell me that. Like you have bars in Tunisia, you have restaurants in Tunisia. The average Tunisian person enjoys all of these things, and they're not going to be able to enjoy these things with social security in Germany. I'm sorry, they're not going to be able to do that.
okay. You are not. We are not talking about, for example, the guy who is ambitious and who wants to do these things. You
No,
talked
just a regular
at start that
person.
there are.
Wait, is the
Yeah,
regular
you talked
Tunisian not
at the
going to
start.
a restaurant? Is the regular Tunisian not going to cinema?
I'm not saying, and the average Tunisian is not as incentivized to go to Germany. You talked at the start. You talked
Sure,
at the people that I'm describing, which are the vegetative state, the people in the vegetative state who do nothing, right? The people that you
they
described at
exist,
first.
yeah, there,
I'm
but
saying,
they're no
imagine,
anomaly
yeah, yeah,
in every
imagine he
culture.
exists in Germany. Imagine he exists in Germany, okay?
Sure.
That you cannot kick him around. You have to treat him or you have to deal with him. He's your problem, okay? But now imagine there are like if 10,000 of them in Tunisia or 100,000 of them, like who smoke weed every day, who don't do nothing. And now to these people, you can tell them like, hey, you will never gonna work your whole life anyway. Whether in Tunisia you're gonna keep borrowing money from your parents, or you go to Germany and you can be on social security, and it is generous. And by the way, this whole
So the
argument is based
the
on
guy who's in a
that in
vegetative
Germany.
state, the guy that who's in a vegetative state who never did anything in his life is now taking the
Yes,
boat to Germany and to go there
yes,
and to be in
yes,
a vegetative state there.
because it's his
I don't know.
family. Because it's his family that will put him on the boat. It
Sure,
is
I mean,
his
I
family.
get it. I get it.
I have seen it. I have seen a woman making the bags for her son and kissing him goodbye while seeing him off
Sure.
in an illegal boat. It looked like it was on an airport, but everyone was saying goodbye to him. Everyone in the town,
Sure.
including the police, know that he was about to leave the
I mean,
country illegally. So,
I'm not saying this doesn't exist. It's but I'm really not. I don't think you should paint a picture like that when you don't have any numbers in front of you. These are some examples. These might be extreme examples. I agree, but I mean, just come to a European. I mean, have you been to? I mean, I'm probably. I guess you have been to Paris, London, or some European city, right?
just uh, just Paris a couple of times.
Okay, sure. I mean, just look at the amount of foreigners that you see day to day. When you just walk around the streets, you see a really a big amount of foreigners, and most of these people are working. they're either going to school or they're working or they're doing something. And I feel like
I don't want to I don't want to lie to you. In Paris, there were a lot of working Arab men. There were a lot of wearing North African men. There were a lot of working Turkish black people. Everyone was working, but the amount of Arabs who are living on the streets in tents and like peeing, the smells, the horrors. There were
yeah,
also
but that's
people
not
that spoke
that's tragedy. That's like not that's not someone who came to Paris to live in a tent and be full of piss and shit and be in a horrible, depressed, fucked up state. Like that's not something that people came there for. You know, they like, bro. You have to. I think you should really think about your perspective. Is really how do I say this? I feel like you don't see them as your equal. Like at this point, you see them. You see a very different state than yours, and you think that
I have
it's just the way
a
they
lot
are.
of
But
sympathy for this.
I don't say
No,
that you
no,
don't.
I have a lot of
Wait. I don't see that. I don't say that you don't have sympathy. I'm just saying that you have a very big lack of understanding or empathy for how they got to where they are, and also that this is not in. I mean, you talk about we're talking about people that take advantage of the system, and you mention people that are full of piss on the street living in tents. I mean, that's not taking advantage of Paris. That's not taking advantage of like that's a nightmare. That's literally a nightmare.
yes,
Like that's not taking that's not
yes,
has nothing to do with our topic, right?
yes. But do, do you see that I can completely I we have to make a separation because people who are benefits from the social system there are one group. These people that I mentioned right now they're a separate group, and both of them are bad to bring in for different reasons. The first one is because of the financial burden that will cause the people who are working because they have to bring that money from somewhere. And the second group, which are like the ones sleeping on the street, they cause a financial burden because they needs to be taken care of in theory. And secondly, it's not nice to them nor the people around them
But that's a
because
different topic.
if
That's
you
a
work,
completely different topic. That has nothing to do with taking advantage of with somebody with malintent taking advantage of the French social security
you
system.
want to stay you want to stay on the subject of or you want to stay on the subject of taking advantage of social security. I
Yes.
can tell you
So
that
so
there are
yes.
companies operating in North Africa that are organizing how someone would get the benefit from this. I know someone who worked in France for like a couple of years. They got some sort of not retirement or something like this. They live in Tunisia. They just have to go to France once every 3 months to make some registration and go back to Tunisia. And they take all that money and they spend it here, which is,
Sure.
let's face it, bad for the economy of France. And there are thousands and thousands of people who are doing this. And there
How do
are a
you
lot of
wait?
statistics that
Where? Okay.
I can tell you where they're from. These
Sure.
statistics have been brought up. These statistics have been brought up in the presidential election of France, and they have not been rebutted by the fact checkers. So it is
Hmm.
true, and we can go. I can go back to look for it and send it to
Okay.
you later. But there are
Yeah. But why is that like? Can't this just be fixed? I mean, is that something that is inherently wrong with immigration?
okay. It is, and
I mean,
if it is not fixed,
we can also talk about uh, every negative thing that happens in the process of immigration, right? We can say yeah, and then there was wages being given too much, and like there can be so many obstacles and problems that happen in regards to immigration, and so many every time you put on a system, there will be people that try to take advantage of it, and you have to fix these loopholes. So that's your job. Like that's what you do if you create a system. But that's nothing of that. None of that is inherently wrong with immigration. I can find for
let's fix this once.
everything.
Let's let's
Yeah,
fix this once and for all so we don't go back to this because
sure.
every time you're going to say the problem, since there are some Germans or something that are suffering from the problem, then it is a problem that exists and must be addressed. And I agree with you 100%. All I'm saying is as long as it is not addressed yet, it forms an incentive for people to just come with the intention to take an advantage of it. And this way it becomes an immigration problem. It becomes a problem related to immigrants because if you have certain power and you're holding your weight, and now as a Tunisian government, I just come and I drop my weight on your weight, now you're dealing with your weight and the weight that I dropped on you. Therefore, it's an immigration because you're dealing with the poor people of Germany and you are dealing with the poor people of all the northern African countries that send their poor people to you.
But
If you
that's not
fix
a
that
problem
problem
that
and poor
makes
people
me be that's not a problem that makes me say, ah, I'm against immigration. That's a problem that makes me say, I am in favor of
uh,
stricter checks who you give social security to. And that's our whole
okay,
discussion. Like
then
our whole discussion is about
yeah, but
are we in favor of the
afterwards,
wait, our whole discussion is about are we in favor of immigration or not? Is what are the like why should we be in favor of it or why should we be against it? And you say that
okay,
one
then let me phrase it this way.
sure.
Okay, let me phrase it this way. I am against immigration as long as these things are not fixed, but once you fix them, I will be in favor of. Do you get this point now? Fix them first, then bring people,
But
like
do you
bring
think
the
that
minimum
every
you have
problem
to do.
and so what if I find another what if I find somebody where is your threshold basically for being in favor of immigration? What if I find another small
Okay,
loophole? Wait, please let me finish. So what if I find another loophole where maybe not thousands of people do it, but hundreds of people do it? Will you then be
okay,
against
you
it
want to know my
again?
threshold?
Will you then be against it
You want to
again?
know my threshold?
No, I'm asking you for
I
the
will
threshold.
give you
I'm
my
asking you
threshold.
for for a concrete.
I will, I
No,
will
I'm
not.
asking
I
you
will
for an
not. I
example.
will not.
You will not be
Yeah,
against it.
if you make the math, I will not be against this. If the math checks out and there are more benefits than negatives, or even if it's just neutral, if it is just neutral, right? Uh, because
Wait,
right
now
now
you
there are a
think
lot of
that
people that are proving that it is not.
so
It is not now. Now it is not.
we agreed that the system collapses if we don't have the immigration. And but
Yes.
and now but now at the same time there is people that take advantage and thousands of people are basically taking money from France the social security checks and you think that currently it's a net negative, so why aren't we collapsing?
We are. It's ongoing. It's like the economy is getting bad. Are you not
Wait, the
seeing it? It is
demographic,
collapsing.
you think that the that France's economy is collapsing because of thousands of Tunisians that are taking the social security checks? You think that's they're the cause for the France's
It,
economic collapse?
one of the causes. One
Single-handedly,
of the causes.
the Tunisian lazy vegetative weed smokers brought down France. Is that what you're saying?
Uh, from for first of all, it's not only Tunisians. I don't want to be
Sure.
targeting my own country. I'm saying it's the whole bunch of aliens. I'm saying that they are causing a lot of problems. If everything was as you were describing, if every one of them was motivated to work, if offered a better job, if every one of them was more incentivized to be a law-abiding citizen, the more they live there, because they will build some sort of attachment or respect to the country they're living in. Then they will be eventually a net positive. But right now, as it is,
Sure.
all the statistics are showing a decline in demographics. All stats are showing a decrease in the quality of life according to the money, compared to the money you're making in France. A lot of people are getting kicked out of the middle class to lower classes, and all these problems, they are not tied to immigration. They are enhanced. They are
But
even
then
more visible by immigration.
you do believe that they're just doing it for philanthropic reasons. That we I thought we were in agreement that they're not letting in people because of philanthropic reasons, but they're letting people in because they
No,
need them.
they're okay, they're letting them because they needed them for like money and taxes. Now they're letting them because they need them to make the numbers of the fertility numbers
So
look
they
better. So it's
so
never for the
the
negative.
so they do think that, but that's the same thing. Like bringing up the birth rate and is a financial that's a financial incentive behind it. So the
Yes,
all the
yes, yes.
experts in government, they do think that it's a net positive, but you think that it's a net negative.
Uh, you see, I think that they have to feed the people who are suffering from, like, say, day-to-day problems of like, uh, I'm not saying crime, okay? I'm not
Can you
saying
please
dirt.
say
I'm not
yes or
saying
no to
bad.
that answer because it's a yes or no question. Maybe you can answer it with yes or no.
Okay, the question that do
Yes.
the people in the government believe that it is a net positive?
Yes.
I
So do
believe
you
that
believe
as long
you
as they're
do?
doing it
No,
with
no, 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 no,
yes,
no, no, no. No. My question is, do you believe that this is a net negative, but people in government, so you have calculated it in your head that this is the social security bleeding out in other countries. This is a net, and according to you, you're against immigration because you have decided for yourself that this is a net negative. This bleeding of social security is high enough in order for you to say it's a net negative, and therefore you are against immigration. That's what you have said, right?
That's I will just
No, I
fix a
need a yes
small
or
thing.
no.
You're on the right
Okay.
track. Yeah, then no, because you're on the right track. But the thing is, even if it's still in the positive, it could be way better if you fix the problem we were
No, we
talking
don't
about.
care
So
about
it
that.
could
We
be
don't care
better
about
for
that. We don't care about being better. We don't care about that. We don't care about that. I have
uh,
asked you. I have
why
asked
you
you.
do.
I have asked you. I have asked you. Very clear question. I have asked you, are you in favor of immigration or not? And then you have said, I am against it as long as these problems exist. And then I've asked you for your
Yes,
threshold. Then I've asked you for your threshold, and you have said that your threshold is that it has to be a net positive, right? And the
or
net positive
neutral, or close.
or neutral, yeah. And I have said asked you, okay, where is the threshold for net positive? And no, sorry, and you've said that right now the net positive line is crossed and it's not net positive, it's net negative, right? So it's not net positive or neutral, it's net negative. That's what you have said. That's why you're
Or
against
potentially,
immigration.
or potentially.
What does that mean, or potentially?
Because of like the numbers of immigrants that are coming every year, even if it is good like the next 2 years, the next three it will be definitely bad, or four or something. It's going, you see, even if it's right
What,
now, it adds up. It won't stop adding up in the near future because
how
the numbers
many
of immigrants.
migrants have to use French social security in order for you to say I'm against immigration?
If I was a French, of course, assuming that I was like in
Assuming
France
that.
trying for the better of France, yes, I would be I will be happy if the proportion of the people who came that benefit from social security will be the same proportion
Bro,
of
you're
or
not,
close to the proportion of French people who will benefit from that.
you will not be able to answer that question, because what
No,
I'm
no,
trying
I
to
told you.
I'm trying to
How
make
many
this
people?
following point to you. I'm trying to
You
show you the
see,
following.
bro,
You
bro,
will
bro,
always
it is
find,
very easy to measure. It is very easy to measure. If you know how many French people are on Social Security, like the original population of France, how many of them are in, let's say it's 10%, okay? Then 10%, maximum 15% of immigrants will be on Social Security. If it is half of them, then there is clearly an incentive for them just to come. That's how you conclude it. Then these are very easy to make. I cannot make these stats. You cannot make these stats, but there are people that can and should, or there are people who can do these stats, and the answer is clear. You asked for the threshold of how many people should be benefit from the system more than they contribute to, and I told you it must be at least equal or close to the situation before these immigrants came.
so you
So if
believe
they're
that
gonna come and make
more damage is being done by immigration than positive comes out of immigration, right?
if that is the case, I am against
Wait,
immigration.
that's
If
what
it
you're
is not,
saying. That's
I
what you're
do.
saying. You're saying it's currently that's the way it is. You are saying
Do
that
you
currently that's the way it is. That didn't you say that?
if you allow me to,
Did I misunderstand you?
if you allow no, no,
You can
if
just say
the
yes or no,
numbers,
bro. If I ask you a yes or no question, please please give me a yes or no answer, because
okay,
otherwise I get crazy.
okay, okay, go ahead, reformulate the question. I will answer with just one word, I promise you.
You said that you believe right now you are against immigration because you think that it's a net negative. That's what you said.
Yes,
Okay? Okay.
yes.
And I say that I believe that the current experts in France and in Germany, they are looking at the statistics and they believe that it's a net positive. And I'm asking you, why
Okay.
are you more qualified to determine? And so there's either two questions. So there's two possibilities. Either you believe that you are more qualified and your statement is more correct than the expert of France or Germany, or or
No,
you don't believe that they act in the right intent. So you do believe that they act in malicious intent to Germany and France.
Okay, okay, now it is clear to me. Okay, I understand. Y-
Which one is it?
okay, I am how to say this? Yes. Okay. If the then yes, I am for. If the immigration is the way they are describing it is, and it is true, truthfully, then yes, I will be for immigration because I do not care about the skin color of the people that are living in there. That's it. If
We're
I was
asking, what
defending
are
the
you
right,
now, right now, right now? What are you now? Are you now in favor of immigration or are you against immigration?
you see, I don't love France, so I am for it.
Then
I
you,
am
but then
for
you're
immigration.
saying that, but do you realize that by adding this addition, you are presuming that it is bad for France,
Yes.
right? And
If
because
I
you're
was a French
and
citizen,
then you're assuming that the experts of France are either more stupid than you or less informed than you, or you're assuming that the experts in France are acting in malintent and bad intention towards France.
that's faith.
So which one is it? You
The
still have to decide between these two. You haven't saved yourself from deciding between these two.
because you see, I cannot claim that I'm smarter than them, but there have been proofs and good solid cases presented by the right wing. I mean, if you try to try to talk to the right wing, you see, try to look at the arguments. There have been a lot of cases where they have omitted statistics, where they have lied about certain cases, where they have tried to modify some statistics because they want to remain in power while inflating the numbers. So there have been math. I'm not saying that
What does
I
that
don't have
mean?
the
Remain
statistics.
in
I have the
power and
knowledge.
inflate while inflating the statistics. What does that mean?
For example, if you are in power and you bring in more immigrants to solve the problem, to solve the solution, bring in more immigrants
To solve
costs some
the
side
solve
damage
what
because
problem?
solve the problem of numbers, like
But
the
that would
number
mean
to
that
make the
it's a
tax
net
numbers
positive.
happen.
If you're solving a problem and have negative consequence of that, that would imply that this is a net positive.
Okay, it is a net
Correct?
positive financially. It is not overall because let's say it creates some problems in the society that
But
leads
you
to
were
crime and
talking but
differences.
you were
For example,
talking about financial problems. Your negatives are
yeah,
financial problems, the bleeding out of social security into other countries.
okay.
Then why are we
Let's say
talking about
this.
financial problems?
Okay, okay. I admit that I was wrong about the financial
Okay.
problems, but if you can fix the financial problems right now by having more people who are quote unquote bad, you are also potentially hoarding the finance. Maybe it will not be the case in the next 5 to 10 years if you bring more immigrants. That is also a valid point. You see,
But that's a
if
completely
you're
different
gonna
point.
have
So you we can also go into crime. It's but it's late. We've talked a long time,
yeah,
but we can. But
yeah,
crime is a whole different. And to be honest, I think that crime is really similar to the other point as well. It's also something that is
you see,
fixable with
uh,
money. It's also something that you can quickly fix with money. It's not something that it's just a question of how cheap the government is with making this process happen. So we should invest way more money into security. In that case, I'm not a classical leftist. I'm really in favor of police, and I think that we need more police. But that's a question of money.